Okay, welcome back. So in this video we are just going to carry on from where we left off. However, here we are basically starting with part 2 of where we left off. We were just looking at examples of applying the general formula for linear, quadratic, as well as geometric number patterns. Now we are looking at the application of the sum or series formulas. Starting off here, we're going to look at the sum or the series formula for a linear number pattern or an arithmetic sequence. So let's look at this example to understand how we can apply each formula. You can use either one of the two formulas depending on the information that you are given, pretty much. As I've written the two formulas here, we have this first one. It's applicable when you know what the value of the last term is. It's usually easier to use it. But if you don't know what the value of the last term is, you should just consider using this one. It makes your life simple. Okay, so let's look at this example. In this example, we are given 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus ... That is just to show you that the series continues up to infinity. We call it a series because they are using the plus signs here. So a series is just addition of those numbers which are usually forming a pattern or a sequence. So they don't put those semicolons, they put plus sign. Then we move on like that. Now let's just try to answer the problem. Let's write the solutions so that we get to understand how we can apply the formula. So they're asking us to determine the sum of the first 10 terms. Yeah, just get the sum of the first 10 terms and then you're good to go. Because we do not have the last term, we don't know what the last term is, since this pattern continues up to infinity, or the series continues up to infinity rather. So we'll use this general formula to calculate that, not the first one. We'll use the second one. Okay, using the second one, you know that the value of the first term of the series is actually 1. That means our a equals to 1. The n on the formula, it's representing the number of terms that we are adding, and they're asking us to get the sum of the first 10 terms. Therefore our n is 10. And then what is our d? The d, it's basically because this is a linear series or an arithmetic series, so the d is just the difference between every two consecutive terms. And in this case, you can take t2 minus t1, or maybe t3 minus t2. You'd realize that it's always going to be 2, because 3 minus 1 is 2, 5 minus 3 is 2, 7 minus 5 it's also 2. So our d is 2. Now all you need to do is to substitute. Therefore, when you substitute sum of the first 10 terms, it's equals to 10 over 2. Use your brackets, and your a is 1 plus 10 minus 1 times d, which is 2. Then you are good to go. All now that you need to do is to enter this thing on your calculator and see how much you get. You should be getting 100 as your value. Therefore, that's your sum of the first 10 terms. You are done answering the first part of the question. Now we move to the second part of the question. So the second part of the question, they are asking us to determine the value of n, for which the sum of the first n terms is 225. So basically, the question that we had at first, they're just reversing it. Now they are giving us the sum to n. Now, and then they are asking us to get the value of n. So we are still using the same formula, since we are still having an arithmetic or series rather. So in this very same formula, we're just gonna copy it first, and then we know that d is still the same, a is still the same, a is still 1, d is still 2, and then the n is what we are looking for. However, in this case we are given Sn, which is 225. Now we just need to solve for n. That will be the only unknown variable in this question. Then we just need to substitute properly and then solve the question for n. So how do we solve 225? When you multiply by 2, you get 450, and then you are left with n on the right hand side, 2, because 2 times 1 is just 2. And then to simplify the brackets, the inner brackets, you're going to get 2n minus 2. There you are. Now you just need to continue simplifying. There's nothing really hectic about this. 2 minus 2 is 0. Then n times 2n, that gives you 2n squared. Therefore, now you just need to divide by 2 on both sides again, and then you realize that n squared is actually being equals to 450 divided by 2. That's back to 225. So now to solve for n, you just say n equals to plus or minus the square root of 225, right? However, remember that n cannot be negative, so your value of n will basically be plus or minus 15, but n cannot be negative. Therefore, n equals to the positive 15. So now you know that term number 15 of the series is actually equals to 225. Then you are done answering the question. You can get all your marks. Thank you for watching. We'll see each other, or you will see the other video in the other video. We move.